Hey everybody, Geoff Hyland here with the Hyland Group eXp Realty in Prescott, Arizona. I want to give you your October 2025 market update. So we're going to start with some of the not so great news, and then we'll also talk about some of the highlights that we saw here in the month of September. So first and foremost, inventory remains elevated. We have experienced, near 11-year highs since June 1st. The inventory as of October 1 is 1,236 homes on the market. Again, that refers to site-built single-family homes, the entire Prescott area MLS. So that number really hasn't changed. June 1, we were at 1,231. We got up to 1,287 in July, and now we're at 1,236. So the inventory remains high, near 10-year high, and we had a total of 360 properties come on the market in the month of September. Now, here is the good news. If you look at the number of closings last month, there were 291 closings for the month of September. You'd have to go back to March of 2022 to find a stronger month. So that's some really good news. Obviously, you've been monitoring and we've been talking about the interest rates coming down. So I think that is definitely a contributing factor. And also, if you look at the pending sales, it did slip a little bit last month. We got down to 278 compared to the 305 that we saw the two previous months. Now, if you look at that 90-day window, so that would be July, August, and September, I had to go back to the fall of 2021 to find a 90-day period that had that many pending sales. And if you remember how crazy it was in the fall of 2021, that gives you some context. So listen up, buyers. If you are still wondering if now is a good time to buy, survey says it is. Interest rates are at very affordable rates, 6.3, 6.4, 6.2. If you're a VA or FHA borrower, we have some borrowers, and with some seller help even, in terms of concessions, that are getting financing in the mid 5% range. So take advantage of, number one, very high inventory levels, and number two, take advantage of the fact that you've got some very affordable rates out there. So start looking for homes today, and if you need help, let us know. Now, sellers, here's what I'm seeing. We have seen since May 1, the values, at least in the Prescott market, have trickled down about 5%. Last month in September, values in Prescott zip codes came down a little bit over 2%. PV sagged by about 1.7%. Chino came down about 6%, and MLS wide a little over 2% on the average. So the values since May have been trending down. We have, as a result of that, the values being a little bit more affordable, as well as those interest rates coming down. We are seeing the buyers come out of the woodwork, which has been great. A couple other things to note here is that refinance index, this kind of further substantiates the buyer activity that we're seeing. So the refinance index tracks the number of refinance mortgage applications that we see on a national level, and that has been vacillating between 18 and 22% higher than the numbers that we saw a year ago. Now, when the Fed made the policy change most recently, if you were paying attention to 30-year fixed mortgage rates, you probably saw that the rates increased. And you wonder, well, why is that? Remember that there's anticipatory rate adjustments heading into a Fed announcement. And also remember that mortgage rates, 30-year mortgage rates, are not tied directly to the Fed policy changes. So what happens is there's anticipation of what the Fed policy change is going to be. Mortgage rates adjust. If you watched the last video from last month, I warned you, hey, don't wait for the Fed policy announcement. Talk to us now, because what we saw is the rates got down as low as 6.1. Then the Fed policy change came out and they jumped back up to like 6.4%. With all of that said, first week of October, mortgage rates did drop. However, it was the third best week in 3 years. So again, all of these factors are pointing to buyers have great optionality out there in terms of homes that are on the market. Values have come down a little bit, but it's nothing, it's not a runaway or anything like that. If you really think about it, 5% since May 1. It's not great, don't get me wrong, but it's not like we're going into a depression or anything like that. Days on market are also trending up. They continue to trend up. If you look at the charts, you'll see that the days on market have been steadily increasing over the last same time period, 4 or 5 months. Prescott now, days on market is 89 days for the homes that are going under contract. MLS wide is 87. When you take a peek at the active inventory, we've got an average of 112 days on market right now. And although the average listing price of those homes has relaxed from where it was 4 or 5 months ago, those homes on average are about 13.5% priced higher than the average price per square foot in their respective market. So if you're a seller and you're struggling, right now, you're not getting the showing activity, you might want to consider doing some refreshing on your advertising. You might want to refresh your ad copy, take a hard look at your photography, see if there's anything that you can do there, and then take a look and see, what new properties have come on the market that you might be competing against, and see if a price adjustment is needed in order to breathe some new life into your listing and get it sold. That's really the market update for October. I appreciate you tuning in, and we'll keep you posted next month. Thanks a lot.